Hi, it's Gadget UK here again, this time a Commodore 1541-2 floppy disk drive, seemingly from hell. I'll show you what's going on inside this in a minute, the reason I've said from hell. The first thing is it's not got the lever. I swear on the advert it had the lever, so maybe I just didn't spot that. So I need to source a lever. The power supply that comes with it, that works okay, I'll show you that in a sec. So I've got the power lead connector in the back there, it provides 5 volts DC and 12 volts AC I think. Might be 12 volts DC, I don't know, just listen. It's almost silent. There's no illumination on the front, but when I say almost silent, I'm not sure you can hear it. When I listen very closely here, like a tick, 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 coming from inside it, but it's so quiet. I'll see if I can capture that perhaps when the lid's off in a minute, but it's so quiet. But the surprise for me was when I pulled the lid off here, undid the 4 screws on the underside, yeah, lid out of the way, got a broken clip there, that's not the surprise. And from there you might be able to tell lots of debris down here, and lots of debris on the board here, it looks horrible. And then down here, it looks like there's a, I don't know, a weird resistor. Yeah, I've had to tilt the camera over there, can you see this? It's like that resistor's come to pieces, and it kind of looks corroded. I see bits of corrosion all over here, so I don't know, I think the elements may have got to the inside of this drive. I mean, the main mechanism looks okay here, that green spring caught my eye, but that's just the colour of it, it's not actually corroded. So yeah, I think the next thing we'll do is just unscrew the screws here. Let's just disconnect the power rest just in case it's actually on. Yeah, the 4 screws around the sides here that just hold the drive mechanism in over the logic PCB, you know, the controller PCB. If you're not aware, it's like a computer in itself, the disk drive, the C64. It's got its own CPU, RAM and ROM and I/O to be able to connect, you know, like serial to a C64 or C128, C16, VIC-20. They all use the same serial port, standard there from Commodore. I'm not sure if this will pull off, will it? Yeah, we've obviously got a wire here for the front, so we can't just pull that off. But we can just disconnect these connectors at the back here. I'll put the wrist strap on in a minute. So, yeah, red to the left there, and obviously this one's got orange to the left, and it's a different size. Let's just try and get that out. And obviously the heads, or the head, well, heads, read head, right head, I think. Or read and erase head. Sorry, yeah, read right and erase head. Let's just pull it out of the way. So, yeah, straight away, can you see what I can see? Look at this, corrosion. We've got liquid damage here. Some liquid has got onto this. Yeah, it's kind of like liquid damage, isn't it? It looks awful. Look around here, some corrosion on the top of that chip there. Something funny going on between the pins on that there. It's all up the side of the can here. So, yeah, I think before I do anything else, actually, I just need to get this board out. We need to inspect a bit closer and just see what's going on with the board. You know, there's loads of fuzziness down here, look. And that resistor looks eaten away as well. I don't know, there's strange stuff with this. How does liquid get there? Must have been stored in a barn or a shed or something. So I don't hold high hopes of being able to repair this, but we'll give it our best shot. I mean, that screw there is corroded to, you know what, look. Look at that. Look at that, it's red. This might be a different disk drive revision to the one of these I've looked at before. I looked at one of these for Jamie Morgan previously. You should check out Jamie's channel. I'll put a link down below to his channel. He does Amiga and C64 gameplays, as well as other things like the Master System and the Mega Drive. Yeah, really good channel. And he's almost up to 2,000 subs. Look at that. Oh, what is that? Oh my god. Yeah, so it doesn't bode well, does it? It's got away lightly on the underside there. There's obviously some corrosion definitely got on there, but yeah, that's got to be a big part of the problem, isn't it? So yeah, well, that's going to need washing out for sure. Well, I mean, the positive thing is I thought this was going to be an uneventful disk drive. I was having the imagination that I would just be cleaning the heads and go, oh look, it works. I don't think so. I think this is going to need a fair bit more work potentially. So a quick look on Super Macro. Can you see that resistor there? It's like the band has come off it and stuff. Look at this, it's horrible. Absolutely terrible. Ugh. Is that chip alright? Ugh, I doubt it. Look at the stuff between the pins there. Oh, that one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it doesn't bode well, does it? I think what I'm going to do, the temptation is just to stick this straight into the ultrasonic and leave it for a bit, but it'll mess my ultrasonic up. It's like, the fluid will need changing for sure when this has been through it in this current state. So I think I'm just going to get some paper towel down, get some vinegar, have a scrub around with a toothbrush, really have a good scrub, try and get as much of the contamination off, from places like that, and obviously from around there. If we can get most of this debris off on both sides, then stick it in the ultrasonic for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. Right, vinegar in my hand, yeah, and I'm just literally just going to have a good scrub around this. I'm just looking to see if there's any fizzing, and there isn't. So it's not like, an acidic, maybe there's a bit of fizzing there. Yeah, whatever's landed on it is kind of like, a base, it's kind of neutral in terms of acidity. So, you know what, it might be alright actually when I cleaned it up. And it may just be some, either a corroded trace or something like that that's stopping this from powering on. It could also just be some conductivity. I mean, you saw how bad it was around that little IC there and this one. You get a wee bit of conductivity between two digital, signal connections like that. And it's going to crash, it's not going to do anything. But then again, why was there no power LED? I'd kind of expect at least the red power LED to be illuminated, if anything. So, I don't know. It doesn't really need doing so much up this side, does it? I'm going to do it anyway. It seems to be just this bottom end here. Anyway, I'm feeling better with that already. It's, there's a lot of stuff here, look, like dirt and stuff, but looking so much better. I think what I'll start to do now is just wipe some of this rubbish up with cotton buds, because at the moment we're just smearing it around, aren't we? We're kind of dislodging it, adding some acidity, so we need to clean this off anyway, but it is going to go in the ultrasonic within a few minutes of me doing this. Yeah, I think we're getting there. I'm going to go put this in the ultrasonic in a minute. Now I've got the majority of that side. I'll turn it over first, wipe the other side. Oh, it's like gooey. Whatever it is, it's kind of like, it's gone all gooey with the vinegar there. It smells weird as well. Could be drains, it could be sewage, I don't know. Right, I think I'm going to carefully carry that over to the ultrasonic, stick it in there. I'm going to remove the tray here. And bear in mind, it's got this thing attached. I'm just going to hang that out the side like that. I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do this in two halves because it's not quite covering. Just put the ultrasonic on. So I've given it a bit of wipe down here. I'm just using hot air here, 100 degrees. Just try and blow dry this a little bit. Still some IPA on this board, you can see it running down there. Yeah, I'm trying not to block the camera here. You can see IPA there. It's looking so much cleaner though, it really is. I think after I've blow dried it like this, I'll just leave it for, I don't know, 10 or 20 minutes. I don't want to try it too soon, just based on the fact there could be just a tiny bit of moisture there, and moisture will contain, or create problems, not contain problems. I still see a bit of moisture there. I might have to remove all the stuff down this end here, certainly the chips here. Reflow that one perhaps. It's got corroded legs at the top, there's a corroded leg there, corrosion down this left side. Just gonna have a blow around this. may not think that's relevant, but often if there's some moisture you'll see it splatter out. There's nothing there, so I think that's alright. And it's just nice and warm. It's just like lukewarm. Got the power here. Let's just turn this LED so you can see it. Those wires there are going to break, aren't they, if I'm not careful. Let's just put that there, plug that in, switch it on. It's doing nothing, isn't it? You see, it could be power switch that's bad. It could also be, oh, there you go, look, corroded power socket. You see that? Look, corroded power socket. It's going to be one of these where it works, isn't it? It's just going to be down to the power socket here. I'll tell you what, let's just get some contact cleaner into that, and I'm just going to switch that off, just so that we don't, you know, have the power going off, on, off, on, off, on. Yeah, I'm not sure you could see that very well there, so you can see. Hang on, let's switch it on. Watch the power LED, on, off. Yeah, so switch it off. It's obviously a corroded socket here, isn't it? Now, I think I've got a spare one of those from an old bread bin. God, it's incredibly hard to sort of just pull it out a little bit and push it back in. Let's try that. There we go. It's coming on now, look. And the drive light went out there. So actually, there's a good chance this may just work. So loosely reassembled there. The unbelievable thing is I think this works. If you just watch. That's kind of normal. Now if you switch to C64 now, the power LED would reset, it would flash again to say it's received the reset, assuming the comms side of this is alright. I think the next thing we need is a cable, because I don't have a data cable for this. Well, do I, actually? Now I think about it, I think my other 1541s are going to have a cable, aren't they? So I can borrow the cable from that. Yeah, I think maybe we should try connecting this to a C64 at this stage. I need a lever as well, don't I? So I need to go and research that. I can't even see where it is here. It goes through, oh, it's the whole arm and everything, the metal part's missing. Oh, it's really annoying. See, it's not so bad when it's just the plastic lever. When the whole arm's missing like that, that's a whole different story. So, precariously all balanced here. Just typing the load command, load star command, (1). And if I hold this down, you'll see like this, as if the lever was pressing that down. Yeah, as flat as possible. Strangely, that's just frozen. Let's just power cycle it again. Yeah, the LEDs are behaving normal here when the C64 resets, the power LED, or the green LED there resets on the front, I think. It's really annoying that that driver's not got the metal part here. I'm just going to press this down like that. So it's having a go, and it's yeah, doing the head banging thing there. So right now it's kind of looking, and it coming with a file not found there, I'll show you the error. It's kind of looking like maybe dirty heads, as you can see, but maybe it's faulty heads. Anyway, let's just clean the heads. You never know, despite the decrepit state of this and the fact we've got some parts missing that we need to source here, maybe, just maybe, we can get this working, and maybe the board is alright after just being ultrasonicked. So I'm just going to just carefully just lift this and hang on, if I can, try and get the disc out. There we go. And just going to lift the protective thing there. It looks fairly clean, but oh no, there was some stone on that. Look at that. Can you see that? That's just come straight off the head there. So the head was absolutely filthy. May get some plastics on that. You'll probably see me use that on these floppy drive heads before. It makes an incredible difference, that stuff. Yeah, that's nice and glossy from what I can see from a distance, but you can see that just came straight off the head there. So load star command (1), and ready with the return key, just hold it down. It's loaded. It was. That's loaded. Hang on. Yeah. Every now and again, it's just... Yeah, that was loading there. So I think the heads are okay. I think this just needs a clean and lubrication. I think maybe I'm going to get some plastics onto that head next. Let's do that. Right, so I've got a tiny bit of plastics polish here. And just have a rub around that. You see, the difference is, because that's a polish, any imperfection, sometimes you get stuff like smeared right into the surface there. And it's almost like a mirror surface, or it needs to be, you know, like really super smooth. It's like marble if you look at it with magnification. But yeah, the plastic's the only stuff that gets those smeared on bits of dirt. Clean with IPA, just for good measure afterwards, to make sure there's no residue. Clean around the wider area. I'm just going to use another dry cotton bud here because it looks a bit glossy. And we'll give that another go. And I think that's loaded. It was decompressing a minute ago. All I did there was spray some contact cleaner into the serial connection. Yeah, maybe it had a misread or something there. But that loaded all the way to the end. Came up to the ready prompt and I hit run, or typed run. And then here we are with a black screen. So, yeah, I might just try that again. Yeah, that's loading again. You know, it sticks on a track like that, and every now and again it will move up a track. I really need the fast load card in. I might just put that in a minute. But trust me, that's loading. I feel confident that I think if I can get a lever for this and we, you know, finish cleaning it up, I may, you know, replace the odd component on that PCB and do some resoldering there, and reinforce some traces, because there's one or two traces on there that look a bit black and a bit horrible. I may as well recap that PCB while I'm at it as well, I think. Yeah, so I was able to release the lever there, you know, just like lift my hand off it. Decompressing, so it's just a question of, will it work? This is what happened last time, but then it's just black screen, didn't it? And that could just be, you know, you only need one, you know, a bit or a byte not being read properly there, and then it won't work. Bear in mind, this disc has not been used for about, I don't know, 3 years. It must be quite a while, maybe 4 years. There you go, it's worked. It's quite a while since I used these discs. So I need to try Kung Fu Master again, because that wouldn't work. But this disc was doing exactly the same thing. You know, it was in Sector 0, you know where it goes, it bangs, it does head bang, doesn't it? It was doing that up until I put contact cleaner into the serial connection. So, yeah, it seems like it just works. Let's do high scores, reset, no. Oh, hang on, it's loading from the disc again. Right, I've just had to press the disc back down, hang on. There we go. I think it was loading the high scores there, wasn't it? Stop loading now. So there we go. That works. Yay! Sweet. I haven't got a joystick plugged in. Yeah, so very, very pleased. Let's just take that out. I'm going to try Kung Fu Master again. I'll load the camera there just so you can see the LED. Yes, that's normal. As it comes out, a reset, that light goes off. And if we do load, start on a 8,1. So yeah, I don't know whether this disc has got an issue. Maybe the disc needs cleaning up. Let's just see. Now look, this is what I was doing, you see. So, for whatever reason, it doesn't like this disc, I think. Is it flashing? Yeah, it's flashing a light there. Yeah, you can just about see that light flashing there. So that's a, you know, a problem loading that disc. But if I look at this disc in the light, can you see there? I actually wonder if some moisture's got onto this disc. It has. This disc has got mould or corrosion. So, I'm going to need to clean this up, aren't I? I'm going to go and get a cotton bud and some soapy water and just gently wipe over that. Yeah, and believe it or not, after cleaning with a cotton bud, that disc works. It worked first time. It is mould. I'll show you again on that disc. It's not spotless. What I did, I only turned it maybe less than a quarter. You know, so wipe the area, you know, turn a little bit, turn a little bit, turn a little bit, keep wiping it as I turn it for about a quarter, and then it's this moisture actually on the inside of the disc. You know, as you rotate, you can see the moisture smearing. It, you know, it goes into the foam thing on the inside, and then as a result, that moisture gets distributed, so you can just literally rotate the disc yourself. And then obviously when you stick it in a drive and it starts rotating, it's kind of self-cleans as that moisture just starts to dry. And that solved it. It worked first time. I must have tried that disc 20-30 times. It wasn't loading it at all, and no reseats or anything. It just loaded first time. Now obviously it's single-sided these, so it's obviously the underside. You can still see a little bit of moisture there, but look at the inside here. Can you see this is a telltale sign when you get these horrible marks like that? Yeah, it's some dirt, but if I rotate this, there might still be some moisture there. You can still see it looks a bit streaky from the moisture, and there were just some odd patches like blobs, you know, dark blobs that have all gone. Yeah, but it does look a wee bit strange in the middle there. But anyway, that works. There's a bit there, look, that's the bit I actually wiped. Can you see that, the blob? But anyway, it loads, and it loads perfectly, so I think I've managed to recover that. I'm going to clean the heads again. Whenever you've had fun and games with a dirty disc, don't just keep putting other discs in afterwards. I'm going to knock the IPA over then. Yeah, don't just put discs back in again. Clean the head again, or you'll regret it. You start contaminating all your discs with anything that wears off and sticks onto the head there. Loading screen is up, blue lines on this. It's got quite a fast loader, this Ocean game. My finger's getting sore. There we go. Sweet. Yeah, it's an awful port, this. But anyway, that has loaded. Yeah, so I'm calling this one a success. We just need to clean up now and get a new lever. So to maintain a steady pressure there, I could just wedge that there for the moment. Incidentally, that Kung Fu Master title screen looks weird on this Vic. So hopefully, yep, there we go, press space. Sweet. I changed over to the junk board we fixed. It was a junk repairs part 3, I think. And I've got the Easy Flash cartridge in there just for the fast loader. And it's still loading fine. So I've ordered a couple of things here. I've ordered a little servo. I'm not sure the servo is going to be up to the job. I might need to order a larger servo because it's about the amount of G's it can drive. You know, G's being gravity, I guess. So yeah, if it's not got enough G's, it may not have the torque to pull this down here. Now the question is, the servo, I've got an Arduino coming as well. I'll write a little bit of code. I'll have a button here on the front. That's the idea. Maybe even an LED, I don't know. We could actually change one of these here for a dual colour LED, and that would help indicate whether it's open or closed. But I was thinking I can also attach a little speaker to the Arduino and have it play a sample or something, so you know whether it's open or closed, i.e. this here, up or down. Yeah, because obviously you wouldn't want to pull the disc out when it's like that. The question then is, where do we mount the servo? Now servos, you know, electromechanical thing, isn't it? You know, so you're going to get a magnetic field. It's a question of will it interfere with the disc? Where to position it? Can I position it here? Ideally, you kind of want it here for leverage, like at this point. But in theory, you know, it could be, if the torque was good enough, it could be right back here, but you've got more torque required there than here. So it could be over this area, maybe. It just needs to, all it needs to do is move the lever and go. That's simple. It's a question of mounting it, isn't it? Well, there's a screw point here. Something technically could be mounted here with an arm that comes down like that. That might work. Or in this gap here. Maybe over here, but then you see you're at the height of this here, and it's a really small servo. It's like less than a penny in size. But it may not have the required torque. The only other thing I can think is somewhere at one of the sides here with an extended arm or something, so that it can do it from the side maybe. Anyway, I'm going to now strip this back to pieces again. We're going to clean up the board further, replace the capacitors and stuff, and clean out the shell. So this resistor needs replacing here, R32 I think, and this one here, I think, look, it's black. You know, the band, the covering has come off it. We got some dull solder points here. I used the fiberglass pencil on that, and here, so the light is just at the wrong angle there. Yeah, so I'll probably clean up with a fiberglass pen, maybe reflow that. And then there's obviously the odd wire and stuff around here, and there's the odd solder point on some of these resistors needs cleaning up. We've obviously got little bits of marks here on the PCB, you know, little discoloration, but you know what, it works perfectly. So I don't actually think much is going to be required here. Again, fiberglass pencil perhaps on some of these. Let me just get the lamp on. Yeah, a bit of extra lighting there. It's not bad though, is it? Yeah, it's just like down here, that pin, and those two resistors. Maybe around that 7.4 series there as well. Right, so measuring these and checking the schematics, the one down here that we need to replace is 1K, and the one up there is 620 ohms. There's actually two of these here, so I may swap that one as well. So I've had to order some of those, but we can get that one off right now and swap it. So it's these solid points here. I mean, it's working, it measures alright, but it's just a question of would you want to leave it in place like it is with corrosion on one side of it, and the answer for me is no. Let's just swap the thing, and we'll swap the 3 caps out while we're here as well. These legs are sort of bent over, so need to, there we go, sort of get under and lift it up slightly. So yeah, look at the state of that. So it's a bit dirty under there. We'll use the fiberglass pencil here just on those legs and on that piece of the PCB. Clean with a bit of IPA. It's like a browny ready mark there where it's been set. I just caught that pin there with my nail. Anyway, that's fairly clean. So let's get a new 1K resistor on there. I've got a few here that got pretty short legs. They've obviously been fitted onto something that I've built in the past, but yeah, we'll just bend them over. I just like to reuse stuff, you know, there's nothing wrong with this resistor. Oh god, it's gone on the floor now. I'm getting so cheesed off with dropping things on this floor. And we'll measure it once we've trimmed the legs off here. As you can imagine, that's getting hot. Ow. Right, there we go. So, brand new resistor. Let's just measure it just to make sure it is 1K. And yeah, there we go, 1K. And if we measure the old one, it's brown, black, red. And the old one here, brown, black, red, is, there you go, 1K, just a touch under 1K. But yeah, you can see it's suffered a load of corrosion on that side there. So I'm waiting for the 620 ohms, but in the meantime, let's swap the 3 caps. There's only 3 capacitors on this board. I didn't film that one, but the pad dissolved on this side and on the same on the other side as well, which is really odd. The other ones came off really easy. That one, well, that one came off really easy, but the pad on both sides gone. Anyway, it's joined back up. I just, you know, bridged it across here down the trace that leads to it. So anyway, we'll just clean these two here. And we'll clean around that resistor, wherever that was. It was here, wasn't it? So we're just waiting on the 620 ohm. think actually I'm just going to use the wire brush here on these. And on that. Get the fiberglass pencil onto that as well. It's just a ground point here. So I cleaned the plastic parts in the sink using some TAD, you know, Oxy Action is the brand name in the UK, but look, none of these marks come off. This is what usually happens. It doesn't matter how much you scrub it, you won't get those marks off. So instead, a tiny bit of plastic polish. That's way too much. Let me just move some of that out of the way. And just have a wee circle and move around these marks and sticky bits and stuff. And this one may be pretty deep. It looks glue. Kind of looks glue, I don't know. Right, so this is as good as it's going to get. It looks a bit stained and discoloured, but yeah, the corrosion has been cleaned off using fiberglass pen, wire brush and sandpaper. You can see it does look a bit scuffed though. And I've wiped this with WD-40, you know, it's just got a coat of oil. So yeah, it does look dull, but it's smooth. There's a piece of fluff just fell off that there. It looks worse on the underside there, but anyway, I think you'll agree that's not going to be too bad. Once it's in there, the board is going to be fine. It's just these three mounts that stand it off and they're smooth. I've, you know, again, sandpapered them, but it just looks discoloured. There's not a lot you can do about that. Similar thing with the case, can you see here? It's actually marked, the plastic is actually marked, it's not dirt. Anyway, it's been cleaned in the sink with the Oxy Action. There's the odd mark that needs to be polished off there. Let's just get this back in though. It goes that way around, doesn't it? Yep. And we can get the board back in. I've got the wrist strap on here. Should be doing this on the bench, but as I said, the bench is a bit full at the moment. So if we get the board lined at the back there. So for the eagle eyed, you can see I relocated that there because the cap was breaking off. You just nudged it a little bit and it broke the trace on the other side. So yeah, I've joined the wire on the top side there. So it's a little bit bodgy, but anyway, the next thing is to get the 3 screws in. I think we may need to clean up the screw that went down there because I'm pretty sure it was corroded, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that screw there. So I'm just going to go clean it up with the fiberglass brush. So all 3 have been cleaned up with the wire brush and the fiberglass pen. They're a bit dull. But they're okay. The other thing I'll do is just get a drip of 3-in-1 oil onto each one before I screw it in. I mean, like a smaller strip, just because it stops the thread corroding and stuff. Yeah, like literally like that, just a touch, and then just get it into position here. So the next thing to do here is just clean this up. From the top it's just cotton buds and IPA, get rid of all this dust and fluff. Get a little bit of grease onto the mechanism that controls the head here. On the underside though, we've got a wee bit of corrosion there, so I'm going to start with that. And obviously the belts perhaps could benefit from a clean. Even a new belt would be a good idea, but we know it works perfectly this, so yeah, I am just going to use the wire brush and the fiberglass pen. There's a tiny bit of redness to the centre there maybe, but that's alright. So yeah, got away quite lightly there, because there's very little on the underside, just that bit. And of course the main chassis is aluminium here, that's not going to corrode. And it looks pretty clean. So we'll clean the belt while we're at it. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of IPA. All I'm going to do here is just get a tiny bit of IPA. IPA will dissolve rubber, so yeah, you don't want to like rub with lots of friction on this for sure. You just want a little bit of pressure, outwards pressure like that, and just rotate it. And actually it's not dissolving that belt at all. You can boil belts like this to get the tension back into them. Just going to rub the outside of that wheel as well, just in case there's anything on it, any oils or anything. I'm comfortable, but you can see a little bit of dirt come off there, off the main part here, but that belt's good. Yep. yeah, nothing else to do on the underside of there really. A wee bit of corrosion here, look, just on the top side where that motor was. So liquid must have come in from the top here. I'm guessing this has been in a shed or a barn. That's the only way I could see moisture getting in like that. Yeah, so still a bit reddy round there. Anyway, we'll just wipe over like this, and any red bits I'll have a go with the wire brush and the fiberglass pen. So a little bit of redness there, look, just around that motor. It could be some grease actually, that. It's just got a funny colour. And a lot of stuff down here, look. It's mostly just dust, I think. Yeah, pretty clean, I think. So the only other things we need to do to this now, we just need to clean up the front. I'm obviously finding or working on a solution for the button here, you know, to actually close the mechanism here with a servo. I don't know whether the servo's going to have the torque, that's the problem, and whether there's going to be space. We need to clean the front up here, so yeah, I'll clean all those murky marks off with some IPA and plastic cleaner. This clip here is broken. I actually pushed it back into position, but can you see the split there? So I need to get a little bit of super glue into that. The ones on the underside seem to be okay. I'm just going to be trying careful. You've got to be careful when you move this wire around, or it could break off at either side. I'll clean the inside of that out as well, and then we'll just sort of finish off with a bit of lubrication. I think we'll get a little bit of grease onto the rails here. There's 2 bars, and a little bit onto this tape here. You know, so it just moves the whole assembly up and down. Look. But yeah, I think a tiny bit of grease there might be advantageous. Well and truly stuck on there. Now I've got recollections of having done this to Jamie Morgan's drive. I could be wrong, I need to watch that footage back. But can you see here? There's a split. You can see a split. Yeah? So I'm going to get a wee bit of glue into that. But then I'm going to get a piece of heat shrink around this, slide it right down so it's level here, and shrink it so that it holds that in place. You've got to look around the circumference there, and that one seems alright, I think. This front one here, however, on the inside here, there's like a split just at the top, so that's going to need the same thing. And on this one here, you can see a split down there where it's got the moulding, I think. It looks like it's goes right the way down here. So I'm going to stick one there as well. That could just be the moulding line. So I used a pin to just split that and get the super glue down there, and obviously I've pushed it right down. We'll do the same thing over here, push it so it's just marginally below the flat point, if I can. And the same thing on this very edge here that you can't quite. And the same thing on this edge here that you can't quite see. Again, just push it so it's just below the edge here. So the hot air here is about 150 degrees. I just need to just go around this and shrink it. Yes, easier said than done at the distance I'm at. So I glued that flap that was broken on the front. Yeah, it's looking a lot clean on the inside here. I'm just going to remove this ROM because you know what, it's a socketed device and its legs have never been cleaned up. So I'm going to just try and lift it out. It's proven impossible with that dip extractor there. Probably a single wipe socket. So I'm just going to try and lever one side like that. Right, after much messing I was able to use that, but you can see I did scratch the side of the chip there. Yeah, it's probably just a good idea just to clean up the legs on this. I mean, the socket looks good as new, to be honest. It doesn't look like the corrosion got anywhere near that. You can see the pins Don't new. And of course this is the chip you would swap if you wanted to do a Jiffy DOS mod to this, so I don't know, I may do that at some point. You can see some stuff's come off there. You know, it's kind of like flaky dust, look. I think we'll just, for good measure, clean the top. I'm not sure this socket is dual white, but we'll gently go over the inside pins as well. That'll do. Bennett. Got the wrist strap on, by the way. I forgot where pin 1 was now. Yeah, pin 1. Yeah, pin 1 is up here. So I need to clean the inside of that. I'll do that with some IPA now. So let's get the one back in. There we go. Yeah, the pins on the other chips, I did go over them before with a fiberglass pen. I just think I omitted that one. So I got a little bit of grease on that corroded part underneath that motor there, just like a light covering of it. Looks like the ribbon wraps on the inside of that there, so if we just move this and then we can get to this part over here. Yeah, anything attached to that is going to thicken it. I'm not going to get any grease on that actually. It doesn't want grease on it. It's the same up this side here. And the same up this side. Also get that thing cleaned up there. That's actually a track 0 sensor. You can fit one here. Yeah, it's one of the drives that's got that little optional thing instead of it doing the head bang thing. Yeah, anyway, I'm confident that's pretty clean now. I could just clean the wheel here as well. Being careful not to pull any of the strands from the cotton in there. And we'll just clean this bar here. I'll get some fresh grease on it. You could use like a lithium grease. I use Molykote, which is a synthetic grease that does the same sort of job. And we'll just get a wee bit of Molykote. I'm going to get it onto the point here and up the side and stuff, and then exercise it. In fact, that's not even pressing on it, is it? Yeah, the point there doesn't even touch it, so there's no point in grease being down there at all. If you look, I'm not sure you can see, but yeah, I'm not sure you can see very well there, but that plastic arm there, it's just this short distance of travel here where that is even relevant. Got some grease on the carriage there. I'll just remove that in a sec, on the chassis rather. Yeah, so there's a very short movement area there to cover, so I can just wipe that excess off there. It's pretty fiddly trying to do and film this. I think it's safe to assume that getting some in here would help. Yeah, not on there. And don't get it on the head, whatever you do. That's from an upcoming video. Anyway, the 3 caps were removed. 10 microfarad, 0.72, and it dinged twice. Good. And this is the thing, even though we... Hang on, I can't get out there. Even though we recapped this drive, it didn't need recapping. Not at all. And I reckon you could run it for another 10 years and it wouldn't need recapping. A lot of the time, even though these are I think these are Schway caps, they kind of look like it, don't they? You tend to find they're alright. It's like 99% of them are alright. The only ones I tend to find ever have problems are on the audio circuits on 500s, 2000s, and on the main power rail, say on a 500, those big 3000, 300 ones. Everything else, you're replacing them just for the hell of it, really. It's not the same as the SMD caps of the 90s, you know, that era of bad caps. Again, 2 dings. Nothing wrong with them. I'll put them in the Armageddon bag. So I had to wrap this part up at this point. Join me in the second part for some fun with servos and things. Wood, screws, nails, you name it. All sorts of different weird things occur in the next video. We also have a look at some speed issues with the drive, adjust the speed a few different ways before we settle on what I think is a good speed. We test some more games, and we also test a pickup actually that's been sat on the table here for about 3 years. A quick note before I forget, do check out my new channel, Gadget UK Extra. I do hope you found the video interesting. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the Coffee and Patreon links down below. I will catch you in the next video.